What a great pleasure to be here, and everybody is impressed with the attendance of the media. We've never had it this good. Thank you all very much for your kindness, not only for your presence here this morning, but certainly yung ginagawa sa araw-araw na tatrabaho ang mga Liga Red Cross. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Alam nyo, ang Red Cross po ay isang movement. Nakikita nyo dito yung ilang hanay. Para maintindihan lang natin, I'll just give some background. ICRC, the International Committee, dahil una 5 yan, Committee of 5, nandito. Yan ay pangyera, normally. Yan ang nag-invento ng mga Geneva Conventions. Yan may rules of war. Ang IFRC, kami yan. Kami ang nangasiwa nilang pangyera, ngunit sa mga lahat ng disasters. All the disasters, we're always in there, from blood to other services, tracing and everything. And then you have the partner national societies here, which are all part of IFRC. You have the American Red Cross over there, you have the Australian Red Cross, the Japanese Red Cross, the Swedish Red Cross. Our head of the delegation is a Swede. You have the Norwegian Red Cross, you have the British Red Cross, you have the Spanish Red Cross. Who else have I missed? Taiwan Red Cross. They're meeting with their counterpart right now in Singapore, so we'll call them Taiwan Red Cross now. They've always been Taiwan Red Cross anyway, and Norwegian, right? And the Swiss Red Cross. So, and a lot of other Red Cross societies. I cannot remember that. I'm getting old. Canadian Red Cross here is also here. Also, let me also tell you that the Philippine Red Cross is there's about 102 Red Cross chapters and branches all over the country. So today is a great day for us because it is not a culmination. As you can see, our slogan for this event is ceaseless recovery and and renewal. I created that, but I'm tired. I only had 2 hours sleep last night. Sorry. Ceaseless recovery and renewal. We just did that last night. Ngayong araw po ito, gusto ko malaman nyo na we started this whole effort together. We've always been together, but as the gentleman who spoke in here ahead said that this is one of the most successful, if not the most successful, coordination and cooperation by the movement. Maghanap kayo ito, talo natin ang Haiti, talo natin yung nangyari sa Indonesia, even in other parts of the world. And that is because from the very beginning, nung mangyari ito, we were all together right away. We all agreed. I wrote a letter right away to all the societies of the world. The Red Cross of the Philippines will accept all the assistance from our sister societies all over the world, from the ICRC, but we have to make sure that we're coordinated. So, makikita nyo dyan, naka-assign ang Australian Red Cross, ang American Red Cross, ang Japanese Red Cross in a specific province with a specific effort. Kasama palagi ang Philippine Red Cross with our volunteers, our logistics, and our resources as well. 15,000 volunteers of the Red Cross work day and night during this crisis. Nung pumutok yan, we already sent warnings to all our people to mobilize our 143 base. Yung 143 base ay nasa barangay yan para maganda at mailigtas ang mga tao. Pero napakalakas. The typhoon was so strong, it was the strongest typhoon to hit the world at that time. And I'll tell you, the heroism of some of our leaders, our chapter administrator there, was on top of the roof, and with the staff of the Red Cross and even his family, that he brought the family there, and it almost swamped the whole building of the Red Cross. But she had the president's mind to tie up the ambulance on the post para hindi maano. Let me just say also that from the very beginning, when this happened, the lights went off, communication went off. Natatandaan nyo lahat yan. There was no contact. And our first contact by family came from a young lady by the name of Kathy Gearing. She's right there. Can you stand up, from Australia? She was there working with me about a couple of weeks before, and she called us and said, we have to help. Chairman, you've got to come down here. There are a lot of people who are dead here. A lot of people are hungry. There's looting. Para makita nyo yung ambiance. I always start everything by, reminding you of the ambiance. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Sabi nga ni Charles Dickens. There it was the worst of times. No communication. The only reason why she was able to communicate was because she had able to grab hold of the ICRC satellite phone. And there were lessons learned afterwards. To get there, normally it takes about 18 hours. We had to come up with truckloads after that phone call by Candy Gearing. We were already ready. We released everything. Everything came down by highway. It took us 4 days to get there. 3.5 to 4 days. There was even an insurrection going on in Sorsogon. There were landslides. There were things like debris. There were dead bodies when you got into the bridge in San Juanico. Makikita nyo, napakahirap umabot doon. We had to leave part of the cargo to Sama right away because they were already hungry. We brought 10,000 tins of ready-to-eat meals because wala nang time to get food or to cook. And when we got there, we even got fuel. Eventually, that fuel truck was used. We were asked by the United Nations to use the fuel truck to distribute fuel to the entire Samar and Leyte area. We brought in water tankers, we brought in a rescue truck, we brought in a crew. They were supposed to rescue people, but they ended up very, very fearfully picking up dead people. They brought in body bags, and later on we put up a refrigerated truck to bring in the bodies there. So makikita nyo, pagdating doon, it was a sea of devastation. The airport was down, the piers were not working, the airport was not working, there were debris all over it. I don't have to tell you what happened. You guys are veteran journalists and you know what's going on. But when we got there right away, we got to work. Immediately, because of the coordination with the ICRC and the IFRC and all partner national societies, we all stood up right away and said, let's make a quick assessment. The assignments were made, and at the same time, we started coming in with the food, with the non-food items that were distributed. You know, one of the things that we have been reducing direct was, since I became chairman, was never to hand out food anymore. The volunteers will lay out the food so that people, we are in the business not of handing out, we are in the business of raising the dignity of our people. So the volunteers bring the food down, and everybody lines up there, and in the process, we also give them time to learn that yung pagkain na binibigay o yung non-food item, there are your families in case of a typhoon. And when we whistle once, you hold on to your ear, you listen. And when I did that the first time, a lot of women started shrieking. They thought there was another typhoon coming. They were traumatized. And then the second, the 2 whistles would be to pick up the cargo, the food as your families, and then the 3 whistles, afterwards would mean evacuate. These were all done very orderly, and we never wasted any time trying to make us look good, but really trying to get the business of recovery and upliftment of the people with their dignity. And so, everybody cooperated. By February, the first week, we already had the first schools rehabilitated. Not rehabilitated, but we put in 166 classrooms right away. We were the first organization to put up those classrooms. It occurred in November 8th. By the first week of January, the schools with 166 classrooms brought about by China, the Philippines, and the IFRC. We all were able to put it up. We had the payloaders to pay. We had the cementing that was done by the PRC. We had the manpower, and the Chinese brought these buildings so that we could work right away. Initially, they wanted to be used as homes. We did not allow that because they were so small and that was totally ridiculous to use them as homes. But they agreed to make them schools. Immediately, we had assistance from all over. Not just the food, not just the non-food items. To show you how serious the movement was, we had no less than the chairman of the federation, Talitorio Konoe, the secretary general of the federation. They were both here. That's very rare to see them both in one area. Later on, the president of the ICRC, the president of the ICRC, came down here as well. Peter Maurer, and we went to Samar. As our gentleman from ICRC stated, ICRC is normally involved with conflicted areas, so they work with us as PRC here, and that's where we went. Nonetheless, after about 16 or about 18 months of full-time recovery effort, I'm happy to tell you today that on the principle of being focused, and we were focused on cooperation and coordination. We were focused on bringing volunteers tried and tested into the area who know how to give water by way of a system where you put in water filtration devices so that we can clean up the water, deliver it by water tankers to bladders priorly assigned, and providing people with jerry cans, we were able to deliver water system. And that became one of the easier tasks afterwards. We relieved ourselves of that effort. Also, in the process, as we were focused, we were also focused on making sure that people help themselves. And we had to do it fast. So we started building homes, and the shelter that was being built was done with the people themselves. Sila ang gumagawa ng bahay, nag-provide kami ng karpentero para magsukat, para magasinta, and afterwards they did the homes. I can tell you also that we were very not only focused and fast, we were also friendly to the people because the people needed immediately cash grants. And this is the biggest cash grant ever given in the whole world. Pagpasok namin dyan, about 298 million pesos in cash grants were given. Walang tanong. Binigyan ng pera, 5,000, 2,000, 10,000, iba depending on their situation. And I can tell you, one girl, Irene, in Leyte, that became the Buko Queen. That was an unconditional cash transfer, but she made a business out of putting up Buko stands everywhere, having a calendar now, having her own little pickup and her own boat. This is one of the fantastic stories that we have, and ensuring that the Red Cross was always friendly to our people. And let me tell you also that we not only gave unconditional cash grants, we also gave conditional cash grants, livelihood support, training in TESDA, training people to have their own livelihood, basically livestock, agriculture, and little entrepreneurial capability. So, lahat siya, nandiyan sa report niya. We were also flexible. We also knew that when something wasn't working, we would fix it up, and we got it from the folks themselves. People, we had that sense of urgency that we cannot have people wait for a settlement site. Hihintay tayo sa settlement site. In the meantime, people were living in tents. One tent even burned. It's not our tent, but one tent even burned. And at the same time, we said, well, we cannot wait for people to have everything fixed, so we started fixing the homes right away. That is why today, because of that flexibility and that forward-looking, attitude, nakagawa na tayo ng 66,000 homes. We are working, remember, in 9 provinces because this typhoon affected 9 provinces and 3 cities and about over almost 500 barangays. And lahat yan, imagine that, napasukan natin ang British nasa Iloilo, ang Koreano, I did not mention the Koreans. The Koreans were there in Carles. There were people in Camis, Citibank was in Tabon-Tabon, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank was with us in Antique, if I'm not mistaken. At Asian Air was with us in Calibo, and they're not yet finished. So makita nyo, nakaayos ang pagtrabaho sa mga bahay at mga livelihood na binibigay. Also, we made sure that, that's why I use the word renewal. We're not in the business just of recovery. We are in the renewal of values. We don't want people to be, asking for food all the time. We want them to be able to withstand all the typhoons, all the challenges in this crazy world today, where you have wars, where you have all kinds of super disasters. So we wanted an attitude in our people. So the objective was to have community resiliency. Dapat matatag yung resilient ng komunidad na makakalaban sila, na hindi sila magpapanik, alam nila kung saan sila tatakbo, alam nila kung anong klase ang gagawin nila para sa ganon bahay o mga gamit para sa ganon mabubuhay at mag-continue ang mga tao. Renewal, ang tinatawag natin ay values. Recovery is you can kill your home anytime, but without values, with a poor attitude, you're not going to have the virtue or the courage to stand up against all the challenges in life. There's a cycle of disaster and poverty in our country. We're a very disaster-prone country. So pagka-disaster-prone country, makikita nyo, kung nagtatrabaho kami dyan, can you imagine this? Isipin ninyo, we were in the middle of a Bohol earthquake. That is a very big disaster by itself. We lost 6 churches at the very least, and there were a lot of people at home. We were working on that. There was a war in Zamboanga. We were working on that. We had the field hospital there. We had we're working with the ICRC, bringing in food, medicine, and everything, including water. We still have 3 tankers there in that area. Now we're now distributing to the Human system. While Haiyan happened. We just finished with the earthquake in Negros Oriental. We just finished with a typhoon in Central Luzon, which even inundated my